What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 6th to all of you. Thank you for watching us here on Pub Sports Radio. It is Betting with the Bag. We have Mr. Gogster as our special guest tonight. Today, excuse me. Sorry, it was a long night. Did Razor Sharp's horse racing show last night, and we have a slightly smaller card to attack slightly so we can do a little bit more deep diving, or at least spend a little bit more time in NHL. Last night was one of the most frustrating MLB days I can remember. The only positive takeaway is that these extremely frustrating days aren't huge losers, but I thought I was going to have a big day. I had a terrible bottom of the fifth with 2 out. Especially the 2-run home run in that Dodgers-Cubs game made me push the first 5 under 4 and lose that Dodgers first 5 minus a half. That Yankees home run in the bottom of the fifth pushed my Astros first 5 at plus 115. I ended up pushing 3 bets, avoiding one with the pitcher's change. And I go 2 and 3, and all 3 losses are by a half run. Texas team total over 3.5. Dodgers first 5 minus a half. And the Atlanta-Washington over 8.5. So it was very frustrating. But there is a big but. TAINT play of the day cashes again. Tigers first 5 plus a half. Dutch boy freshest look. Westbrook over 24.5 rebounds and assists. An easy casher. And happy birthday to Willie Mays, the great Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid, 90 years old today. And let's get to work. So, in years past, an extremely frustrating day like last night would have been a big loser. And it wasn't. I went 1 and 2 in NHL. I felt like I capped the NHL card lazily. Mr. Gogster will help that. And then by the time I went to bet NBA, those 2 first halves on the Blazers and Sixers had both moved a half point and a full point, and I didn't make them. So instead of a 3-0 day, I had a 1-0 day in NBA, and that was frustrating as well. So I'm a little frustrated, but I'm thankful to be here with you guys right now, betting with the bag on Pub Sports Radio. We got Jacksonville Zoe in the house. Thank you, Jacksonville Zoe. Yes, I'm very frustrated with these knuckleheads, but in my frustration, at least I can make money off of these ass clowns. I think the Oilers, well, you know what? I've often said that when things look too easy in NHL, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just attack. But this does feel a little too easy. The Oilers and the Boston Bruins, minus 1.5 at plus 110. The Rangers surely have expended a lot of energy, and they did that last night with all those fights in that very passionate Capitals game. But they just seem like very simple plays, and I'm just so frustrated with those knuckleheads. There's Viper NB. Earl Sports Bets in the house has thoughts on the UFC bout between the Rangers and Capitals last night. It was refreshing. All the people calling for Parros' head and what's gone wrong with NHL. You know what? It was nice to see some fighting in the NHL. I miss fighting in the NHL. We were all raised with fighting in the NHL. We were all raised with Semenko. We were all Bob Probert fans. So, I found it refreshing. Nice to see some passion from a Rangers squad that's just so timid. So, I enjoyed it. Bob Taylor said, cash that TAINT again. Matty Ice says, yes, sir. Big balls, TAINT and money catcher. TAINT now 16 wins and 8 losses on the show. What a spectacular record. Colorado Bull ready to go. Says, glad to see no Dodger game today. Cost me a 5-team parlay each of the last 2 days. I can't believe that. It was just, I thought the first 5 under 4 and the Dodgers first 5 minus a half were very solid looks. And it was 2-0 going to the bottom of the fifth, and I felt quite good. Quite good. There's Penny Bombs in the house. He's on Carolina minus 1.5, and why not? It certainly feels like now, at this point in the season, teams are giving up, and the Blackhawks might be one of them, losers of 6 straight. So we will break down NHL nice and in depth today with our guy, Mr. Gogster. Carolina minus 1.5, Boston money line. Boston money line in regulation, Pitt money line in regulation, parlay plus 346 for our Spenny penny bombs. Winning night thanks to the chat. Says last 45. Birdie, Matty Ice, Dutch, and Turnsy all killing it. But 1-2-4 in NHL sucks. Don't often do it, but 2-team parlay Canes and Oilers in regulation at plus 154 big. Yeah, I get it. It just looks like Kane's a little tired of carrying this Blackhawks team. It sucks to have seen a full season go past. No, it's not a full season, 56-game season, but without seeing Captain Serious, Johnny Taves out there. I've always been a Johnny Taves fan, and it sucks. One time I was at a hockey pool in Vancouver, and my friend he drafted one of the early picks, and he picked Jonathan Toews, and we kicked him out. He was not allowed to pick any more picks. We kicked him out of the place. We kicked him. He had a full drink, wasn't allowed to finish it, and we made him leave. If you call him Johnny Toews, you have to leave now. The night's over. And that man was named Toby Hargrave, a very, very funny Canadian stand-up comic. But he was not pleased that night when we kicked his ass out of the house. Matty Ice, Matt Janning. Basketball star Matt Janning in the house. Nice to have some elite athletes rocking with us. Thank you for joining us, Matt Janning. Are you back? How's the season gone in Europe? I've got to, I'm going to write that note. I'd like to dive a little deeper into Matt Janning's season this year. That note right there. Great to have you, Matty. K-Prop TJ in the house says, I beg your forgiveness for doubting the taint. He said, I was on Boston, you win, and I learned my lesson. There's Nilo in the house. Vincente Gigante, O'Brien Palmer. What a great group. Razor Sharp picks. Nice winning day. Let's do it again. Razor, you've been fire. And Razor Sharp picks is show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern here on Pub Sports Radio. We have Babano and C-Mac right after this at 1 p.m. And then we have the fights tonight. Boston Nick will also be with the fight. So Pub Sports Radio will have 2 live shows going on, horse races and fights tonight. And for the horse races, Churchill Downs has a late card that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be really exciting. Then they'll have Lone Star throughout the evening, and Ski Profit will be live for the entire show today, which is very exciting. Talk Sports with JT in the house. Matt Jennings says, at first look, I like the Nets Mavs over today. Slats 45 says, big faves in NHL. We're going to get used to that, and then we get into playoffs, and that's going to be extremely fun. Slats says, Gogster in the house. I'm looking forward to cap that card. David Sharp. Let's go over what David Sharp is doing here on this card. Let me make sure I can copy and paste this, and we must get to work, but I can't go without getting our – okay, sorry, here we go. Where's David Sharp's action? I'm falling a little behind the chat. I'm going to catch up. Right now. Let's get this in here. And copy and paste David Sharp's action. So David Sharpie is on Brewers minus 105, Jays first 5 minus 135. And first 5 minus a half at minus 105. Nats first 5 minus 105. D-backs Marlins first 5 under 4.5 unit on Astros first 5 at plus 165. I thought that was a great look that I was on. Astros first 5, and they're up 3-2. In bottom of the 5th, they're up 3-2 with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th and no one on. And a solo shot gets me right in ye old gooch. All right, let's just go over a couple more of these things. We got Nilo saying seems to do way too much. Of course he enjoys it. Come on. Christopher Carter in the house. Spenny Penny Bomb says, Taint giveth the sweet, sweet taint. We're looking forward to see what the taint is. Brian Watson wishing our Willie Mays a happy birthday. And Matty Ice giving a shout out to David Summers in the house, whom we love dearly, and there's Ski Prophet, who will be on the show today. And we have a message from Matty Ice. Says, Jimmy, need prayers. Our own David Summers' mom has took a turn for the worse. Damn it. He needs all of us. What's so special about our low bag family? Bringing prayers to the Summer family from all over the world. Damn it. That sucks to hear. That picture of David and his mom in the hospital, and his mom with that big smile, was just so moving. Seeing how tough she is, how strong she is, and how much love she has for her son, and how much love he has for her. There was so much being told in that one picture he sent me And that sucks. That hurts, man. I hate seeing that. So if we could all just take a second and send David's mom, even though she's so tough and so strong, but send her as much energy and positivity and strength and healing and prayers as possible right now. Man, that sucks. That sucks. But man, she's so inspiring how she's battled this, and I know how close you guys are. So just sending you as much love as possible, and your family as much love, and your mom as much strength as possible. That's tough, man. All right. Turnsy 66 in the house. Fat Wally ready to get to work. And there he is, David Summers. What a class act and great guy he is right there, man. What a absolutely wonderful dude he is. And Maddie's saying we got a few weeks left here in Spain, then back home. Well, man, it's a very, very fun living vicariously through your career over there in Europe, Matt. So do it up last few weeks in Spain, and then come home and get the kids home. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Great call, Dutchy, yesterday. And you know what? Ski also gave us the Bradley Beal over 29.5 points. He goes off for 42, but I just hate those 29.5s. And yeah, is Nilo? Yeah, Nilo's talking about his dad's been battling cancer, and it's just such a battle. And the one thing that it does do is it brings families even closer, and guys like Nilo and David, the torch is passed on to them to lead the family through these tough times, and they rise to the occasion and do that. And it's all very inspiring across the board. So a lot of prayers and love going out to our family here. All right. Guillermo Zertucci tailed your Ducks play. Nice job. That wasn't that a great call? Birdie is such a sharp capper. Well, let's do just that. So one thing that capping always does, and it's been so important here over the last year and a half of the pandemic, is when things are rough in our lives, we always have sports and each other to take us out of that, to reframe situations and to focus on what we love. You know, I almost said more than anything in the world, but now, you know, a lot of us are family men now, and that's changed. But let's get to work capping this card. We are going to start with MLB. 11 games on the board, and is the freshest look in? Did I just miss the freshest look? There's a Fap win. It's going to go. It's on Miami, first game with Arizona. Bet them again yesterday, and we'll bet them to go balls deep into Bumgarner. Well, you got Lopez. That sucked. I lost that Marlins first 5 because of the pitching change. And CT Bay saying no, Yelich, Kane, Avcel, Garcia, Harper, Real Muto, and Woodruff and Wheeler under 6.5. I saw that under 6.5. It's pretty low, man. But I can understand. And I haven't been trying to go under those very low looks. And there we go. Freshest look, Kyrie Irving. Over 25.5 points from our Dutch Boy Fresh. And our graphics for Dutch's freshest look are almost finished. Very, very close to being finished. Slots 45 says, I was watching a boxing match last night. All of a sudden, the hockey game broke out. Isn't that refreshing? I found it very refreshing to see a little emotion. Okay, let's get to work right now. We are starting at 1:05 p.m. Eastern, and we are starting with a beauty. Astros, Yankees, rotation number 909, 910. Let's go to money lines and totals. David Trump says 6.5 have been cashing it over 80% this year. Over 80% this year. Great stats. And I've been going over the first 5s at 3 nonstop. And they've been very good. By the way, after a 2 and 3 day, we go down 1.55 units. And we're not in a comfortable spot. You'd think where I am right now, sitting at 80 and 66, that I'd be in a comfortable spot, but I'm only up plus 3.86 units. My ROI is 2.64%, which I'm happy with. But only being up 3.86 units is because my average line is minus 114. Too much vig. Too much big. There's Nitty Foo in the house. Brooklyn Lou ready to go. Nitty Foo takes 6 months off and he's back, baby. Great to see you, Nitty Foo. And Brooklyn Lou says, I'm liking the Nets today. Get back on winning ways. So as you guys know, this is how we structure our shows. MLB, NBA, NHL. Let's go. We have McCullers versus Cole. This total opened up at 7.5 as a pick'em. There's been a 9-cent, or actually, sorry, just a 1-cent move. I got to switch the order of this. A 1-cent move towards the under at Pinnacle. Cole opens up at minus 190. There's been an 11-cent move towards these New York Yankees. 16-14, 9-7 at home are the Yankees. 15-15, 8-8 on the road. Yankee Stadium, New York, 59 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour sideways. Lance McCullers 2-1, 3.38 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 26 2/3, 30 Ks, 14 walks, 1 home run. In his last start, 7 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks, and a 9-2 win at Tampa. Garrett Cole, 4-1, 1.43 ERA, 0.72 WHIP, 37 2/3, 62 Ks, 3 walks, 1 home run. Last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 12 Ks, and a 10-0 home win over the Tigers. That was a game that we just lit up and smoked and cashed in every conceivable way. Astros versus righties, 243, 721 OPS. Yankees are still struggling versus righties, 209, 670 OPS. Astros bullpen, 4.20 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. They've converted 6 of 10 save opportunities. Yankees bullpen, 2.24 ERA, 0.94 WHIP. They've converted all 9 of 9 save opportunities. Viper MB says Houston is 7-15 against the spread in the last 22 games when playing New York Yankees. And Jason Folk, Dutch and Ski prop collab, Beal over 25 and Collins 1+3. Beautiful. Jason Folk putting that money in the Dogecoin game. And David Sharp took Astros first 5 plus 165. Well, let's go to batter versus pitcher here and see if that will enlighten us a little more on this Yankees Astros spot. It's a beauty. It's going to be fun. I love this series. I love seeing Yankee fans in the stands. The Yankees against McCullers, just 20 at bats. Surprising. Hitting 200 with a 620 OPS. Against Garrett Cole, these Astros are hitting 333, but with just a 689 OPS. So they're 6 for 18. But only one of those 6 hits is an extra base hit, and that's just a double. Brian Watson looking at the Royals. We will be coming up to that game soon. We got afternoon baseball, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. There's Ilya Katz ready to get to work. Astros, Yankees. I can understand that look on McCullers first 5, but Garrett Cole, 62 Ks to 3 K walk ratio is spectacular. And I don't want to get in the way of him right now. But I thought Lance McCullers' last start at Tampa was very, very good. 7 innings, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks. So, with weather, we have it 10 miles per hour sideways. It's not very warm. Why don't we move over to the first 5 scenario and see what we got as a total there. Sitting at 3.5. And it opened at 4. It didn't move down to 3.5 until an hour ago. So I certainly won't take it at 3.5. You would have to book that at 4. And that concludes our Astros Yankees. I'm not going to make a move. Tim Montana is saying it's warm out here in the Bronx. K-Prop Teacher says the sideways wind will help the pitchers, the under 4. Yeah, you know what? If this show had started 2 hours ago, I'd probably roll with you. Skywalker, DFS in the house. Great to see you, Skywalker. And Jose on the 1s and 2s. And Jose illuminating the fact that the TAINT play of the day is in red alert. Red alert. TAINT play of the day is in. Royals money line minus 130. Let's move that over there. TAINT play of the day is in. K-Prop TJ says I took first 5 to keep the Royals bullpen out of it. That game pops off at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Who doesn't love a little afternoon TAINT action? All right. Let's move on to our other 1:05 p.m. start, that being the Brew Crew and the Phillies. Another very low total here in Brewers Phillies. The first 5 opened at 3.5. It's now down to 3. 3 against Wheeler, who's not looked that good this year. Full game, this total opened up at 7. It's now at 6.5. Milwaukee and the Brew Crew opened up at -114. They're now at -116. So a 2-cent move over there. Our man Nilo, took the Brewers -1.5 today as well. Interesting. Brewers are 17-14, 9-6 on the road at the Phillies, 16-15, 12-6 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 60 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour in. Brandon Woodruff on the bump. 2-0, 1.80 ERA, 0.80 whip, 35 innings, 40 Ks, 9 walks, 1 home run allowed. His last start was at home over the Dodgers. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 6 Ks in a 6-5 extra inning victory. And Jason Falk says, I love the show because I love the dough, plus that chat helps keeps my pocket fat. Spitting bars, Jason Falk. Thank you very much. Respect. Thank you, Jason. And there's Eddie Euler. Yes, Eddie Euler. Thank you for joining us. We've missed you very, very much. This is where we're going to be. We were over at the Pub Sports Radio Live page while we couldn't shoot on this one, but now we're back in action here on the main Pub Sports Radio page. This is where we'll be, 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday. And Eddie Euler, Pistol Pete Loshak on his way back to us. Pistol Pete Loshak will be joining us soon, which I'm very excited about. And Pistol Pete, by the way, it was going to be doing Saturday shows with us, and we're just getting everything set up right now. But he will also be sending in clips and videos for our regular shows. And it's not like Pistol Pete's been on another channel somewhere. He's been in his treehouse. Nobody's seen him in a long time. And we're all very excited to peer into that mustache. All right. Zach Wheeler on the other side. 2-2, 3.49 ERA, 1.11 whip, 38 2/3, 41 Ks, 12 walks, 4 home runs. And, we're going to be messing with Pete because Pete has a new system of sleep that I want him to tell you about because it's so funny. But right now, Pete comes home from work on Friday and he sleeps until Sunday. And he does that every week. And we're going to be getting him out of that pattern that he's in, sleeping from Friday to Sunday. So Pete hasn't stepped foot outside of his apartment on a Saturday in over a year. The man is mysterious, sleeping from Friday to Sunday. Okay. Zach Wheeler's last start. He went 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 5-4 loss at home versus the Mets. Jesus, sounds like Pete could be that depressed. Oh, God. Okay, I got to stay focused here. It's just one of the funniest things I've heard somebody do. Man, God, that's a red flag. It's a red flag right there. Guy sleeps from Friday to Sunday. Okay. CD Bay says Wheeler had one bad first inning versus the Mets and then looked good. Johnny K said, I tried to get you off them Preds, dog. You did. You did. Yeah, I kept very lazy in NHL yesterday. Mr. Gogster will stop that from happening today. Brewers versus righties, 213, 652 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 224, 660 OPS. Brewers bullpen, 4.20 ERA, 1.36 whip. They've converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. Phillies bullpen starting to fall apart again, 5.13 ERA, 1.37 whip, 9 of 15 save opportunities converted. Let's go to pitcher versus batter data against Woodruff. Look at this. Only 5 Phillies have seen him. They're hitting 114 with a 562 OPS. Against Wheeler, the Brew Crew is hitting 267 with a 713 OPS, but the sample size is tiny, and it's Colton Wong is the only one who gets to them. So let's just see if we can Akbar Saloev, what's happening, my man? Let's see if we can bounce over to the lineups and see how hideous this Brewers lineup looks. Because, I mean, Nilo, is it that you don't believe in Wheeler and you believe in Woodruff? Because when I read out this Brewers lineup, I mean, it's going to be absolutely atrocious. Okay, we have confirmed lineups here. This is the lineup for the Brew Crew. Colton Wong, Vogelbach, Taylor, Travis Shaw. Travis Shaw is batting cleanup. You could have got Travis Shaw for a used condom in the offseason. Bradley, 5th. Urias, 6th. McKinney, 7th. Maye, 8th. Luke Maye won't hit 200 this year. Luke Maye was up here in Toronto. I mean, the guy can't hit. And then you have on the other side McCutcheon, Miller, Hoskins, Gregorius, Bohm, Knapp, Matt Herrera. Those are two ugly lineups, dude. Oh, man. David Trapp said, Woodruff is a better pitcher by far, but they're not hitting him, and the Brewers have a fresh bullpen. Hader and Williams haven't pitched in 4 days. There's Mr. Gogster ready to get to work. Looking forward to have him on. Wow. Nilo says the bullpen will hurt the Phillies more. Yeah, it feels like this would be a second half over if the legend Lotus Loshak was with us right now. And that first 5 is at 3. All right, Nilo saying the Phillies are only averaging 3.93 runs on the season, placing on 24th, and big league pitching staff has recorded 4.41 ERA, position on 21st overall. Eddie Euler leading Brewers 4-3 or 3-2. Okay, no move for me in game 2 either. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 9-22, 5-13 on the road. The Boston Red Sox 18-13, 9-9 at home. Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. 57 Fahrenheit clear. Sideways across the diamond is the wind. How strong is that wind? I don't know why I didn't have it there. It is 10 miles per hour left to right. Left to right. Turnbull Eovaldi. Another first 5 that's dropped a half run. It's gone from 4.5 down to 4. We go to full game here and see what we're dealing with. We have the 8.5 dropped to 8. Eovaldi going from -203 to -194. Very interesting. So a slight move towards these Detroit Tigers. Birdie says Tigers money line -1.5. Kev Riley is moving on those Milwaukee Brew Crew. And Dennis Garcia says he'll tweet out his Churchill card in a moment. That starts off at 5 p.m. What an exciting day it is. Afternoon baseball that rolls right into Churchill's 5 o'clock card. All right, Spencer Turnbull, 1-2, 4.50 ERA, 1.06 whip, 16 innings, 12 Ks, 5 walks, and 1 home run. Last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 home runs, 3 walks, 1 K, and a 6-4 loss at the Yankees. Brian Watson saying a lot of bad players in majors not getting talent. No baseball being played in the inner cities. He says cities, but it's really the inner city. Kids say too boring playing basketball. Yeah, no, that's all true. That's all true right now. Nathan Eovaldi, 4-2, 3.63 ERA, 1.15 whip, 34 2/3, 32 Ks, 7 walks, 0 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, in a 6-1 win at Texas. Tigers versus righties 207, 638 OPS. Red Sox versus righties 265, 788 OPS. And this Tigers bullpen that's so awful is even getting worse. Now it's a 6.75 ERA and a 1.69 whip, converted 6 of 9 save opportunities. The Red Sox bullpen 3.73 ERA, 1.27 whip. They've converted 8 of 12 save opportunities. But look at those numbers rise. Those numbers are going to keep rising. The Red Sox bullpen is not as good as their early numbers indicated. Puzzler says last start, Turnbull got 2 swinging strikes in 94 pitches. Wow, that's a great stat. Said Boston hits well anyways, will not be taking the Tigers today. Kevin Riley said, I did not play the Tiger game. Tiger's going to get blown out. Ski, that's what happened. Sorry, Ski asking about Ski was Ski hit a 7-1 bomber, and I was only there for the last 4 races. And then on the last race, he had a 10-1. Ski, something's wrong with that horse. So what Ski's asking about very quickly was the horse had the lead. He showed early speed. And then when he went around the final turn, the clubhouse turn into the stretch, he went extremely wide. And I don't know if he was going over to eat a carrot, and it was just a mess. And Ski, that's just what happens when we're betting $5,000 claiming races, is that these are broken down donkeys, and you can't have faith in any of them. And because that happened to me 2 races earlier. So look, I was only there for 4 races, and twice I saw a horse run 20, go 20 wide around that final turn. So that's just what you get when you deal with these 5,000 claimer Yankee tracks. But in saying that, they create opportunities like we had when that horse was 3-5 and he'd won once in 23 races. You're going to get favorites that have no right being favorites because they're such trash. So, there's still money to be made at those terrible tracks. But okay, we got Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I'm not going to sing it. I can't sing it. I'm not going to sing it. It's so good that I want to sing it. Got to keep on moving. That's all I'll sing about it. I love Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Okay, that's so funny. All right, so let's go into batter versus pitcher here. My problem is that I want to talk horses all day. Matty, I said, how did your stand-up career die? Because I wasn't that good, and thank God, because this pandemic, what would I have done? I mean, I would have been completely screwed. So, Spencer Turnbull, 231 with a 641 OPS against them, 13 at bats. Your stand-up career died. He's right to the point. How do I answer that? I was not very good. Against Nathan Eovaldi, the Tigers are 12 for 45, 267 with a 651 OPS. Aaron. Why is that man dangling his balls on the bridge of your nose? It's dinner time, Aaron. All right, MMA locker room joke of the day, man. Why? Look, man. If I had a joke every day for you guys, I'd be doing it for a living. Okay, Spencer Turnbull, Nathan Eovaldi. He certainly looked. Turnbull is that sinker ball pitcher, and we're at Fenway Park. It's a very dangerous spot. He's got the 10 miles an hour across the diamond. And we have Eovaldi and the Red Sox as big favorites. And look, what you want to attack the Tigers bullpen, but the Red Sox bullpen has been just as bad over the last week. You want to attack, maybe use Eovaldi first 5, but then how do you make money on this game? Do you take the Red Sox minus 1.5? I mean, I don't see anybody trusting the Red Sox enough to do that. So we're 3 games in, and I've yet to make a move in MLB. Nilo saying opposing batters are hitting just 200 against Turnbull. Oh, yeah, Eddie Euler, many nights. You don't call it opening because it was at the Urban Well in Vancouver. But yeah, many nights I've worked with or being on the same show as Robin, and he was always just so kind to everybody and laughed with everybody, and he hung out with everybody. He was gracious with his time, and he was okay. Dennis Garcia says you don't pass. Gavin Henry says save some of that cash for the ponies later. All right, 1:10 p.m. is next up. Texas Rangers at Minnesota Twins. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Rangers are 15-17, 8-8 on the road. Twins are 11-18, 6-10 at home. K-Paul VIP says can't trust the bullpen, so got to know runs will be scored. Again, it looks like a second half over in that spot. It's 54 Fahrenheit clear, 11 miles per hour out to right. Okay, so I want to fade Jordan Lyles badly. But there were 2 spots on this card that I wanted to bet against and that I would have immediately bet against in the last 3 years. But this year, I'm taking a breath. I'm bringing it to the show, and I'm saying, why isn't the market moving clearly in one's direction? And last night, the market, and again right now, why is money coming on the Texas Rangers? when we know Lyles is so vulnerable on the mound? Why? And I'm not going to sit here and be better, be smarter than the market, because if it was last year or any of the last 3 years, which I failed in baseball in front of you guys, I would already be on the Minnesota Twins. This time I'm going to take it to you. Why? Why on earth is the market moving towards the Texas Rangers? There has been a 27-cent move at Pinnacle towards Jordan Lyles and the Texas Rangers. Not only that, this total was juiced to the over 8.5. It's now juiced to the under 8.5. So there's a huge move on the full game. So let's go to the first 5 here. First 5, we have sitting at, let's go to Bookmaker. What did Bookmaker do with this one? On the first 5, money line. So as soon as they opened it up, money came in on the Twins. So the first 11 minutes, they're taking Twins money. And then for the next 3 hours, it goes a 20-cent move all the way back on the Texas Rangers. How do we explain this? Nilo says Lyles has only faced them once in the morning. Matty Ice says Twins here, first 5 minus a half. Viper says Lyles is a bum. I'm on the Twins here. Eddie Oiler says Texas Rangers are 11-5 to the over on the road. K-Prop says because plus 175 was way too much. Texas bats hitting 258 compared to the last 7. Minnesota batting 232. CT Bay says Buxton and Cruz are both playing, so no idea. K-Prop TJ is clearly saying Texas plus 175 was way off. Ilya Katz likes the over in the Texas-Minnesota game. So Jordan Lyles is this pitcher I desperately want to fade. He's 1-2 this year, 7.39 ERA, 1.61 WHIP, 28 innings, 23 Ks, 8 walks, 8 home runs allowed in 28 innings. In his last start, he went 4 innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, 3 Ks, and 8-6 win at home over the Red Sox. Michael Pineda, 2-1, 2.30 ERA, 0.91 WHIP, 27 and a third, 27 Ks, 6 walks, 5 home runs. So he's allowed 5 home runs, 27 and a third, but not much else. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a 9-1 win at home versus the Royals. The Rangers versus righties, 235, 708 OPS. Twins versus righties, 232, 728 OPS. So you could consider that a wash. Rangers bullpen, 4.32 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. They've converted 8 of 12 save opportunities. The Twins bullpen, 4.71 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. They've converted 5 of 11 save opportunities. So you can say the Rangers have a better bullpen. So why on earth? We have confirmed lineups for the Rangers. Calhoun, Solak. Solak is good. Nate Lau. Joey Gallo. Garcia, Dahl, Kiner, Falefa, Culberson, and then Heim behind the plate. Then for the Twinkies, Kepler, Buxton, Cruz, Astudillo, Garlic, Sano, Gordon, Simmons, Rortvet. Let's go to batter versus pitcher. So David Sharp says, looking at the stats, they're pretty even. That's why money's coming in on Texas. Only difference is the starting pitching. There's Amsterdam. What else? In the house. Great to see you, Amsterdam. What else? All right, let's go to baseball data here. So 3 batters have seen Lyles. They're 7 for 20 with a triple and a home run, 350, 950 OPS. 3 batters have seen Pineda. They're 1 for 10. That one hit was a homer from Willie Calhoun. Matty Ice says Gallo does nothing. So then if I want, Matt Jennings says, I would lean Twins team total over. Yeah, so would I. But I would prefer to focus on just fading Lyles. Let's see what it would cost me to take the Twins first 5 minus a half. Right now, it would cost me minus 125. How on earth do I not make that bet? First 5 minus a half on the Twins. Eddie Oiler says, I like the over 8.5 in Texas, Minnesota. So do I. 54 Fahrenheit, 11 miles per hour out to right. And Matt Jennings says, you do, Jimmy, you hammer it now. David Sharp says they're about the same OPS versus a righty, same home runs. Texas has a better bullpen, but that's not saying much. Maybe a full game over. Brady says, seems like a lot of Twins love, yet money coming in on Texas. Sometimes figuring out the riddle is not possible. These spots never get exploited near enough. Fear will get you. Okay, well, I'm not going to double up. I'm not going to take team totals. I'm not going to take overs. I will only take the one advantage that I see that's clear to my eyes, and that's Pineda is a much, much better pitcher than Jordan Lyles. So I'll take the first 5 minus a half. And we'll go from there. Let's move on. 1:15 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets at St. Louis Cardinals. Mets are 12-13, 6-9 on the road. Cardinals 18-13, 9-7 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 63 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10 miles per hour out to right. We have Taijuan Walker and John Gant. Here we go. Mets are lukewarm, first 5 favorites. Let's move to full game money lines and totals here. And you have sitting at 8. There's been a 1-cent move to the under. There's been a 5-cent move towards the Cardinals at Pinnacle. Taijuan Walker, 101, 3.00 ERA, 1.26 whip, 27 innings, 27 Ks, 15 walks, 1 home run. Nilo saying 6-1 against last 7 starts versus a team with a losing record. Interesting. And interesting to see the Mets sitting there at 12-13. Last start for Walker, he went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 5-4 win at Philadelphia. John Gant's 2-2, 2.16 ERA, 1.56 whip, 25 innings, 20 Ks, 18 walks. He's trying to be perfect. He's not getting hit, but 20 to 18 K to walk ratio is not good. He's allowed 1 home run in 25 innings. In his last start at Pittsburgh, he did not look great. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 2 Ks. He's able to get out of trouble. He was able to get out of the trouble against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Is he going to be able to get out of trouble against the New York Mets, who have a much more dangerous lineup? Mets first righties, 237, 671 OPS. Cards first righties, 221, 685 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.58 ERA, 1.19 whip. And they've converted 4 of 6 save opportunities. The Cards bullpen, 3.72 ERA, 1.25 whip. They've converted 10 of 12 save opportunities. Chris Robidoux, thank you very much. Very kind of you. All right, so let's take a look at the batter versus pitcher here against Walker. 26 at-bats. They're just 4 for 26 against him. Wow. Nolan Arenado, 3 for 12. 1 extra base hit is a double. Matt Carpenter, 0 for 5. DeYoung, 1 for 6. Harrison Bader, 0 for 3. Against Gant, they're 167 with a 460 OPS. CT base says Freddie Freeman getting a rest day if that game matters to anyone. I don't know if they have a better pitcher on the mound. I don't. Now, look, I'm a Taijuan Walker fan, so there's probably a bias going on, but I don't sit here and say that's a better pitcher than Gant to me. Maybe we could get some of the MLB experts in the chat to chime in here because we have confirmed lineups for the Mets: McNeil, Lindor, Conforto, Alonso, Smith, Pilar, VR, McCann. For the Cardinals: Edmund, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado, DeYoung, Williams, Bader. Wow. St. Louis minus 102 with Gant. Big cash play for Kev Riley. David Sharp says Gant ERA is not Gant. Is due for major regression. His ERA is in its 2s, but his FIP is in the high 4s. North End is his 3rd game in the last 24 hours against each other. I want to back. I guess Taijuan Walker's last start wasn't that good. I don't want to go up against Kev Riley, but both pitchers have had success against the lineups. Makes me think that the under is right there. We know that these bullpens are exhausted. So if we're dealing with exhausted bullpens, we're dealing with maybe we should go to a first 5 instead of a full game. And it's sitting at a 4, but the 4 is juiced to the over. Let's see what Pinnacle's done with this first 5 total. It opened at over 4 at minus 119. It's now over 4 at minus 114. The problem is that this weather, 10 miles per hour out to right, is pretty nice hitting weather. Kevin Riley said, I won't let you down, Jimmy. Put money on St. Louis. And they don't strike people out either. There's just my 2 cents. Great to see you, just my 2 cents. if this was a 4.5, I'd go first 5 under. If Kevin Riley wasn't on the Cardinals, I'd probably move on the Mets first 5. David Sharp says big regression coming for Gant. I mean, I do have some interest, and we can't sit here and hum and haw, but I do have some interest on the. But actually, sorry, I take that back. Mets first 5 are a favorite. Okay. I'm David Sharp. I'm with you, but if Kevin Riley's just confident on the Cardinals, then I'll just stay off. I think that 20 to 18 K to walk ratio is going to hurt the Cardinals, and we know that he gets really high pitch counts, and we have exhausted bullpens. All right, now we move on to 2:10 p.m. Eastern, the Cleveland Indians at the Kansas City Royals. And the TAINT play of the day. And just my 2 cents saying we're definitely better at home. We got bats and gloves, but our pitching lineup is dodgy. TAINT play of the day is the Kansas City Royals full game minus 130. Let's dive into this spot right now. Let's first take a look at the market and see what that has done. We're going to move over to full game. And interesting that Matty Ice has no fear of this Royals bullpen that seems so susceptible. We have Duffy opening up at Pinnacle at minus 129. He's now at minus 126, so a 3-cent move towards Cleveland and McKenzie. This total has gone from 8.5 to 8. Eddie Euler says, is Duffy juicing this year or what? I would say I would think that he most likely is. K. Paul VIP saying, gotta pass if it's that hard. Toss up with all the intangibles. I agree. Puzzler said, I missed all those Gant walks off of St. Louis. Viper says, Toll's gone over in 5 of Kansas City's last 5 games at home. Great stuff, Vipe, and thank you for your help. We're at Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. The Indians 16-13, 9-7 on the road. Royals are 16-13, 8-8 at home. 59 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy. We have the wind 14 miles per hour sideways, but sideways in. Sideways in. Tristan McKenzie, 0-1, 6.27 ERA, 1.71 whip, 18 2/3, 29 Ks, 18 walks, 5 home runs. When he came up, it was last year, he looked like there's the ace. There's the ace in the sleeve that the Indians always seem to have. And he's getting touched. That K to walk ratio, 29 to 18. He's only thrown 18 2/3 innings. He's allowed 5 home runs. In his last start, he only made it through 2 innings. Allowed 1 hit, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, 6 Ks, and a 7-3 loss at the White Sox. Danny Duffy, 4-1, 0.60 ERA, 0.97 whip, 30 innings, 34 Ks, 9 walks, 2 home runs. Nilo says Cleveland hitters have 109 at-bats against Duffy all-time with a 243 batting average, only 7 RBIs overall. Vincent Siggers, what's up? Great to see you, Vincent. Yeah, we're banging this out. We're banging this out. We don't have an overwhelming card, so we can kind of deep dive a little more into these games. North Ender says Franmil Reyes hitting 565 with a home run, 6 doubles, 5 RBIs in the 6 career games at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. That's a very interesting stat, North Ender, and we'll see what Danny Duffy does to him here in a second. Danny Duffy's last start, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, allowed 3 walks, 7 Ks, and 11-3 win at the Twins. Indians don't hit lefties. 198 by the 658 OPS, which isn't awful for a 198 average, so there's a tiny bit of power there. Royals versus righties, 240, 726 OPS. Indians bullpen, 2.71 ERA, 1.16 whip. They've converted 9 of 11 save opportunities. They look very strong. Royals bullpen looks susceptible, but remember, when Junis goes out there, he gets lit up, and that hurts their numbers. They're not quite as bad as their numbers indicate here. 5.23 ERA, 1.47 whip. They've converted 9 of 13 save opportunities. Let's go to batter versus pitcher here against McKenzie. They're hitting 192 with a 613 OPS. That's 5 of 26. 5 of 26. The only home run from Whit Merrifield. Against Duffy, they're hitting 211 with a 604 OPS. Jose Ramirez is 7 for 34, 206 average, but has 2 doubles and a homer. Franmil Reyes is 3 for 6, batting 500, but just has a double. Wow. Brian Watson says, better bet KC soon. This line will move. Puzzler took Cleveland first 5 at plus 137, a full game money line at plus 115 this morning, probably not knowing he was going nose to nose, mouth to mouth with TAINT. Earl Sports liking his Cleveland KC over 8. Wow. This is tricky. A lot of moving parts here. You have Tristan McKenzie, who's been very good against this lineup, who's been terrible this year, coming off a 2-inning start. So you know that his arm is fresh and ready to go. Dav Fenn, I think we're getting a little early thinking that a little quick to anoint Duffy as an ace right now, this late in his career. Viper MB is with Earl on the over. And taint play of the day is Royals full game here. So, Matty Ice, now that we have him here, why are you not looking at a first 5, and why did you decide to go full game? If you don't mind, if you could maybe enlighten me on that. I'm very interested. This game pops off at 2:10 p.m. Do we have the Royals lineup? Let's see if we can get the Indians lineup. We cannot. But the Royals lineup: Merrifield, Benintendi, Santana, Perez, Soler, Dozier, O'Hearn, Taylor, and Nicky Lopez. It's a good-looking Royals lineup. Look at North Ender giving Duffy stats. All right. I do not want Taint to go by without me, getting a scratch and sniff. So I want to be involved. I just need some more time to decipher this, why he's full game over first 5. All right, let's move on to 3:37 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays at Oakland Athletics. Blue Jays now 15-14, 8-10 on the road. A's 19-13, 11-9 at home. This Blue Jays team looks strong. The wild pitch. Both Rodons and Means perfect games have been lost in a humorous fashion. Jason Albert says ride the taint. Look, I get it. Look, Mia Khalifa gets it. Oakland Coliseum, 59 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour, out to straightaway center field. We have Hyun Jin Ryu, 1-2, 2.60 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 27 2/3, 26 Ks, 3 walks, 3 home runs. Now, Hyun Jin Ryu left his last start, and I think it was a hamstring tightness. I don't know if anyone can help me with that, but I believe it's hamstring tightness. He went 3 2/3, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 1-0 win at Tampa. I have a rule about, and I'm assuming, God, I guess I maybe shouldn't be assuming this. Yeah, but I have a rule about backing a favorite when you have an ace on the mound who's coming off a start when he had to leave, and I won't do it. Eddie Oler says I've made money on Ryu for a good while now. I completely understand, but no extra days rest. Yes, Turnsey, that is I'm sure she's not cheap, but that is a very good idea. Krishan says it was a strained glute. Speaking of glutes, Mia. Last start. Let's go to Fires. 0-1, 4.50 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 Ks, 3 walks, 2 home runs. In his last start, 6 innings. I just said that. Because he's only had 1 start this year. That was a 3-2 loss at home to Baltimore. Blue Jays first righties, 236, 90 OPS. A's first lefties, 247, 73 OPS. Blue Jays bullpen, 2.47 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, converted 7 of 8. A's bullpen, 4.02 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. They've converted 9 of 10. Nilo says, got to take the A's today. Let's go to baseball data here. Against Ryu, they're hitting just 167 with a 481 OPS. Against Fires, they're hitting 256 with a 638 OPS. Expand on that, Nilo. David Sharp says, beating the line by 20 cents. I got first 5 money line minus 135. Fires fade with Nace on the mound. Look, Sharpie, I get it. I just have that rule. If Ryu had not come out of his last start with a lower body injury, you know what? More than that, I would make that move with you. Tim Montana says, Blue Jays came through for me. I live bet them when they're down 3-2 in the 7th inning. Took the minus 2.5 and plus 12.65. Beautiful, Tim. A chat challenge from the producer, Jose. How would you explain to Mia what the TAINT play of the day is? Well, it's very easy. I mean, I would show her where her TAINT is, and we'd go from there. Okay, I don't want Fires. I think that he's susceptible, even though he's been so good at home. And I can't take Ryu in this spot here. And look, I don't have a lot of action at this point, but we come to the game that this was the Twins first half minus a half for me this next game. 4:05 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Braves at Washington Nationals. So David Sharp last night when we're capping, he brought this game to my attention, and now the money's coming back on the Nationals. And even that kind of makes me uncomfortable because I'm sure that's just public money. The initial action was bet on Smiley, and I just could not figure it out for the life of me. If we go to Pinnacle full game right here, go to money lines at Pinnacle. Washington opens up at minus 118, and it's just Braves money. Washington gets to plus 105 this morning, and now money coming back in on Washington. And that just has to be public money coming back in on Washington. Eddie Euler says it's 37-year-old John Lester. David Sharp says, I thought it was a play to get the line down more. All right, let's talk about this spot. Braves 14-16, 7-9 on the road at the Nationals, 12-14, 8-7 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., 61 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in, and Drew Smiley's on the mound. Auto fade, 0-2, 8.05 ERA, 1.5 through whip, 19 innings, 18 Ks, 7 walks, 9 home runs. And every time I read Smiley's name, I just flash back to him, his arm blowing up when he was pitching for USA in the World Cup, and too bad. Let's see what Nilo has to say. Sammy says Soto back swinging. Kevin Riley says game 4 out of 5 take Washington plus 104. Yeah, Nilo, he looks bad. And thank you for your help with the stats, Nilo, my man. In his last start, he went 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs allowed, 4 walks, 3 Ks, and 13-5 loss at Toronto. Lester looked good in that first start of the year. 5 innings, 1 K, 2 walks. I mean, he wasn't overpowering, but he's a pitcher who sometimes deals with arm fatigue at his advanced age. And I know he was coming off COVID, but maybe giving his arm a little bit of a rest might not hurt him that much. Then we have this spot versus lefties. Braves versus lefties, 174, 564 OPS. Nats versus lefties, 300, 853 OPS. Then you have Nats with a better bullpen. Braves bullpen, 4.63 ERA, 1.49 whip. They've converted 6 of 10 save opportunities. The Nats are 3.84 ERA, 1.21 whip. They've converted 3 of 4 save opportunities. Can you believe that in 26 Washington Nationals games, they're only 2 games under 500, and they've had 4 save opportunities? I mean, that's just a crazy stat. And then Matty Ice says, well, one CT base says Freeman is out. Maybe that's the reason why the market moved. Maybe it wasn't public money. It was just because Freeman is out. And Matty Ice says Atlanta does hit Lester. Of course, that's why. And Bama Boy says Smiley's an auto fade. All right, let's go to baseball data here. Against Smiley, they're hitting 308 with a 965 OPS. Against Lester, they're hitting 272 with an 884 OPS. Freddie Freeman was 6 for 25 with a homer against them, but it is Albies who's 6 for 7 with a homer. Marcell Ozuna is 6 for 21 with 3 homers. Look, I mean, if the issue here is Lester, if that is the issue, then, and we've already seen this total go down, and that was probably just because of Freddie Freeman's bad out of the lineup. So if this whole issue all is around Lester possibly getting touched, then why are we not on this first 5 over? You know, like, okay, we know that the Nationals are going to get to Smiley a bit, at worst. So if our fear is that Lester gets touched too, then why wouldn't we take the Nationals first 5 and the first 5 over? Cassius Fox, I'm sorry to hear that. Cassius Fox's dog just died. I'm so sorry, man. We know how a dog is just part of the family. So that's tough, man. So rest in peace, Martha. And sorry to hear, Cassius Fox. Big Show picks in the house. Brian Watson says the books want you on Atlanta. So look, if our fear is that they can get to Leicester, then why don't we do both? Joey Avang, nice. And it's your birthday. Happy birthday to Joey Avang. I missed you, man. Plus 50 units in MLB. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Nilo says the over is the play here. Yeah, Eric Rosa says here for some breakdowns. And a lot of love coming out to Cassius Fox's dog, Martha, and well deserved. Carl's getting ready. Okay, so look, I'm gonna double up here. So I'm gonna take the Nationals first 5, and let's just see what that would be in my book very quickly. I'm gonna take the Nats first 5 at -110. And the first 5 over 5 at -105. Or we'll see what it is when I bet it. Okay, so I'm on first 5 over. Yeah, I doubled up on that over. At least I cashed the first 5 yesterday, but I didn't catch the full game. First 5 over and full game. Oh, sorry, first 5 over and Nats. Cassius Fox, I have a friend and a stand-up comedy colleague of mine who is extremely close with his dog, and his dog died about 3 months ago. And what he did was he put a picture of his dog on his social media every single day. He's still doing it. Every single day he puts a picture of his dog up on his social media, and it gets so much love, and it's been very cathartic, and it's helped him grieve over the loss of his best friend. So maybe try doing that. Maybe put a picture of your dog on whatever social media you're on every single day. And, I think that might be a good way of doing it. Okay, DC, thank you for subscribing. That is my 3-month-old looking for titty. Just a sign with a 3-month-old looking for titty that I need more money. Let's get some cash here. I'm on the Nats first 5 and the first 5 over. Let's move on to Diamondbacks at Miami Marlins. Diamondbacks 15-15, 9-10 on the road at Miami. Marlins 13-16, 6-7 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. I don't know what's going on with the roof in Miami. It's 80 Fahrenheit, humid, 11 miles per hour, sideways in. We know that there's fans allowed to be there, which I'm very happy for, which I want there to be fans out in these stadiums. And you would think that the roof would be open in decent, nice weather because of the fucking pandemic. But so I don't know what's going on. If anyone can help us out with the roof status in Miami, for whatever reason, it's hard to figure out. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house says, get some fire, Cush it. Cush it will help. Our guy Dutchy. Yeah, to Montana. I hear you, man. I hear you, dude. All right, Bumgarner 3-2, 5.58 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 30 2/3, 33 Ks, 10 walks, 4 home runs. Last start was the start after that 7-inning, the no-hitter that didn't count because there was a 7-inning doubleheader. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a 7-2 win at home versus the Rockies. Pablo Lopez, who I was going to bet yesterday and had that bet avoided and didn't realize it until it was 6-0 in the second inning, and I was like, oh no! Pablo Lopez, 0-2, 2.34 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 34 2/3, 34 Ks, 10 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, 7 innings, 6 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and a 2-1 extra inning win. The Diamondbacks versus righties, 233, 700 OPS. Marlins versus lefties, 260, 789 OPS. Diamondbacks bullpen is being bad and is getting worse. 5.27 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, converted just 4 of 11 save opportunities. Marlins bullpen, and I'm going to keep repeating myself, they're good. And I know they've only converted 4 of 13 save opportunities, and that's atrocious. But their numbers will continue to succeed. Fat Win says Miami catching fire. Let's go to baseball data here. And let's go to market moves. First, let's go to market moves here. We have that first half total's gone from 4 to 3.5. The full game total has gone from 7.5 down to 7. There are some 7.5 still out there. Against Mad Bum, they're hitting 270 with a 757 OPS. Against Pablo Lopez, 238 with an 884 OPS. 21 at bats. That's interesting. But now you got Pablo Lopez at home. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, Birdie. I got Pablo. Okay. 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 We'll get there. I promise. I will get at least 30 minutes for NHL or more. Okay. Bob, come on, Bob. Come on. Don't set me off. Eddie Euler, great. Those of you who went first 5 under that got the 4, that was smart. That was smart. At this number, I don't want it. At 3.5. I wonder if the look here is just to go first 5 and back Lopez. Okay, no time to hum and haw. What is that first 5 against Mad Bum? You'd think that we get a nice number because he's pitched so well of late, but no. They know that the Marlins can touch him. All right. I'm going to take the Marlins first 5 minus a half. Okay. All right. We have 1 game left. Tampa Bay Rays, Los Angeles Angels. And do we know who's pitching for Tampa Bay? Yes, Colin McHugh. Wow. A vulnerable, but Heaney has not been very good last start. Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. The Rays 17, 15, 10, 5 on the road. At the Angels, 13, 16, 6, 7 at home. 68 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour. Out to center. Colin McHugh has not started any games yet this year. His last appearance did not go well. It wasn't that bad. I mean, well, it was bad. What am I talking about? We made a third of an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, and 6-3 loss. The Yankees. Heaney 1-2, 5.25 ERA, 1.13, 24 innings, 34 Ks, 9 walks, 4 home runs allowed. His last start, he got touched by the Mariners. 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 home runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. And the Mariners aren't hitting lefties that hard. The Rays aren't either. 234, 691 OPS. And the Angels get to righties. You got to think McHugh is vulnerable here. You have to. Rays bullpen 4.33 ERA, 1.27 whip. Angels bullpen 4.47 ERA, 1.40 whip. Let's go to baseball data. Maybe McHugh's only in there as a starter for an inning, but they hit 283, 879 against them, and Trout's 8 for 24 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 homers against them. And Heaney's okay against the Rays. You have to think that there's a big pitching advantage. You have to think this is a Rays pitching advantage here, an Angels pitching advantage. Let's just go to the first 5. All right. I just don't want anything to do with the Angels bullpen. So I'll take the first 5 minus a half here as well on the Angels. First 5 minus a half. All right. Let's review action and move on. Fleming primary. So like the price CT base says, McHugh's so vulnerable, and Fleming can be dangerous with his soft tossing. CT Bay's liking the Rays again here. Is McHugh going to get through the first inning? That's interesting, CT Bays. Fleming is going to be completely different than McHugh. What up, Sharp Money? CT Bays says Angels need Rendon. I mean, I don't see McHugh. He's going to have to walk. He's going to have to walk Trout. Fleming, the primary. Yeah, Fleming's a good pitcher. I just think I have a 1-inning advantage. All right, good luck, Kev. Get to the casino. Get your action in. I mean, what else could I do? Just take a run first inning? They're not up yet. Actually, the first 5 minus a half isn't even up yet. Eddie, no, I don't trust the Angels versus lefties. All right, you know what? Okay, maybe I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that instead of hammering the first 5 minus a half. Maybe I'll spend a little more time and study Fleming against these batters, and then also go over the Angels numbers against lefties again. And maybe it's a first inning run. Maybe first inning score is the way to do this. I think it is. I think that's how I want to play instead, is first inning score. Because I don't even know if I trust Heaney right now. And I like those. So I think I'm going to lean there, but that's not available. If anyone has it available, let me know. All right, this is my action here, and I don't have a lot of afternoon action. But I have the Twins first 5 minus a half. I've got to figure out what to do about the taint play today. It's Royals full game money line at minus 130. I want to be involved. I'm just not sure if I'm going to go first 5 instead of the full game. Then I'm on the Nats first 5 and the first 5 over in Atlanta, Washington. I'm on the Marlins first 5 minus a half, and I'm going to go Jason Falks is like taking it your mom's first, too risque. I want to see what the line is for a first inning score here in Rays Angels. Okay, let's move on. And Rays team total over 3.5 is an interesting look from Sharpie. Okay. Let's move on to NBA, and let's work quickly here. 7 games on the card, so we have a nice 30 minutes with Gogster in NHL. We're going to start with Bulls, Hornets, and man, the chat has been straight fire in NBA over the last couple of days. Let's keep that up. Get ready to jump in and help us out here right now. We are starting with the Bulls, Hornets rotation number 533, 534. The Bulls, Hornets, let's go to spreads and totals. The Bulls open up as 3.5-point favorites. They're now 4-point favorites. His total's gone from 217.5. It actually hasn't moved, sitting at 217.5. I saw that Eddie Euler, and I like it. I was a Chris Drury fan, and after that letter was sent to have George Peros fired, I would have fired both of whoever wrote that letter. I would have fired immediately. I was listening to a radio show where the guy was comparing it to like us. When you're drunk and you send your ex-girlfriend a text message and then you're like, oh, no, the next day. What clowns. Okay. K-Paul VIP liking the over. Let's go. Bulls, Hornets, Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bulls over their last 5, 1-4, 28th in pace of 96 possessions a game. Hornets last 5 are 2-3, 22nd in pace of 97.30 possessions a game. Bulls coming off their 4th straight loss, 106-94 at home versus Sixers on Monday night. Kobe White scored 23. Thaddeus Young scored 13. And they're stuck 12th in the East. They played without Levine and Vucevic for the 2nd straight game. Levine has passed all the league's health and safety protocols and will be available this evening. Vucevic missed his 2nd straight game. The MRI showed no significant damage, and he is listed as probable. Troy Brown will continue to be out of the lineup. Just open hand slap. The question is, do you trust Levine to be ready to go and to be sharp after being out for so long? Do you trust him to have a rhythm? Does all this say we should take Charlotte first quarter? Because they played how many games now without Levine? I don't have that in front of me. 420 Fuego says, what do we do when the star comes back? Fade. You're absolutely right, 420 Fuego. Johnny K says no. Let's talk about Charlotte for a second. Charlotte coming off an underwhelming 102-99 win at Detroit on Tuesday night. I sadly watched that game because I was on a losing bet on the over there. LaMelo went for 23 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Scary Terry Rozier went for 18 points. Malik Monk has not looked good since returning from injury. I think that will change. He went 0 for 8 from the field, 2 points in 19 minutes. Bridges is in the league's health and safety protocol Tuesday. He's expected to miss multiple games. Devontae Graham, Cody Martin, Gordon Hayward are all out. There's Diesel Eugene. Diesel, my man, we've missed you. JD Film says Hornets wire to wire. Sean Dozier says when after a team comes back, it's a huge star player comes back, it's a huge fade. I agree. But I also think that I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls keep taking money when people realize that he's back. You get a nice plus line on the Hornets first quarter. Sharp Money says, can't really trust either team, but gun to the head, Hornets. Sammy's on PJ Washington over points and rebounds. Yeah, I like John Davidson too. Always have. All right. With all that being said, I think that the Hornets' first quarter is the way to get it started. First quarter money line. Get a little plus money spot right there. And then I'm going to put question beside full game. All right, let's move on to Nets Mavericks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Brooklyn Nets. Let's go to full game. Sorry, I was just on first quarter. Definitely take that first quarter money line. Don't take the plus a half. All right, let's go. Brooklyn, Dallas. Brooklyn opening up as 3-point favorites and now 3.5-point favorites. We've already got the Dutch's freshest look, and that is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving at over 25.5 points. He gave us Kyrie Irving a couple nights ago, and it was an easy casher. Dutch Boy Fresh says also on Nets first half -1.5. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Nets are 2-3 over their past 5. They're 10th in pace over that time, 101.40 possessions a game. Mavericks are 4-1 over the past 5. They're 16th in pace at 98.9 possessions a game. Brooklyn coming off their third straight loss, 124-118 at Milwaukee on Tuesday night. Kyrie Irving scored 38 points for the Nets. Durant went for 32. Nobody else scored more than 12. They were badly out-rebounded, 55-39. And that seems like it could be their Achilles moving forward. Mavs are coming off their 4th win in 5 games, 127-113 at Miami on Tuesday night. I want to thank Big Mastro, Anthony Mastronardi, for keeping me off of Miami in that spot. I was very close to betting them. Hardaway Jr. goes for 10 threes. He's white hot right now, 36 points. Luka goes for 23. Mavericks move up to the 5th spot in the Western Conference. Luka also adds 12 and boards and 8 assists. Jalen Brunson goes for 19 points. Jay Rich goes for 17 points. Sharp Money says Nets cheap line. Eddie Euler also on the over, which is very, very interesting. Jason Folks says smacking books with the freshest look. I'm on it, Dutch. Eddie Euler giving us a great stat. Mavericks 12-20 against the spread at home. Wow, very interesting. Nets first half, not counting on the full game on the second half of a back. Oh, no, sorry, it's not second. Why do I keep thinking second half of back-to-back? They played Tuesday night. Everybody on the Nets here, and I don't know. Well, I guess what I'll say is I'll let you guys keep me off of the Mavs, but I certainly had a lean towards the Mavs. Let's see. Ski Prophet says, road faves off a loss after losing their previous matchup for his opponent, and both teams have less than 2 days rest. 32-14-1 against the spread this season, says Play Nets. Wow, Ski. What a spectacular stat that is. Oh, wow, that's a tough question. Yes, I'd rather have – that's a tough question, and I have a bias in MMA locker room because of a West Coast bias, so I would want the Sonics to come to Vancouver. But I wouldn't want us to use that name, although I like that name. But we want a more Vancouver name. That's a tough question. Anybody in the West would say, yeah, of course, Sonics Vancouver. Anyone in the East wants the Expos back. I want an NBA team back in Vancouver. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what to do. Sorry to move on from there. I don't know what to do with that spot. Okay. But everybody very confident in the Nets here, and I'm not one of them. But I certainly am not going to go up against you guys. So I guess that means stay off. There's also a lot of talk about the over 234 here. Let's move on. I'm not sure. I honestly don't think the Nets care that much of where they land. And the best teams in the league feel that way around the stretch. It's more important getting right and being healthy than – all right. Let's move on to 7. And it's funny. I have a major West Coast bias, and I'm living in Toronto. But, whatever. I'm always going to be a Vancouver kid. So, okay. Washington Wizards at Toronto Raptors. So, this was a spot that was screaming at me for the Raptors, and I just wanted to talk it out here and not make a move on a Raptors team that I don't trust. Raptors opening up at -3, they're now -2.5. This total opened up at 235.5. It's now 236. Wizards 30-36, 13-19 on the road. Toronto Raptors 27-39, 16-16 at home. We're at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Wizards are 3-2 over the past 5, third in pace at 106.30 possessions a game. Yeah, it was, Turnsy. It was a big basketball spot. But Stu Jackson is an absolute ass clown. And I've told, guys who watch my show that if there's any one person in sports, in the sports world, that I would like to take put a ski mask on and wait outside his house and, two hands slash right in the knee and maybe again on the back and run off, it would be Stu Jackson. He's an ass clown. He screwed our franchise and he made terrible blunder after terrible blunder, terrible mistake after terrible mistake. And we had to watch the worst team by far in NBA history 6 years in a row. It was just atrocious. And that's why. And we were still filling that arena up a lot. And like my dad never grew up a basketball fan. He always was a huge hockey fan. He liked going to Grizzlies games more than Canucks games. And it's all Stu Jackson's fault. That ass clown. Odiola says big country's big reason Vancouver doesn't have a team. No, Stu Jackson saying no to Bibby for Steve Nash straight up is probably the reason why. So I hate Stu Jackson. He's the sporting personality that I despise the most in the world. Stu Jackson, if you're out there, watch your back. Because if something goes wrong in my life and I got nothing to lose, now I'm not going to kill you. But I'm going to two-hand slash your knees and then maybe one over the back, and then you'll see me run away laughing. Maybe screaming and laughing. Wizards, Raptors. Wizards are on the second half of a tough back-to-back after losing at 135-134 at Milwaukee last night. Beal went for 42. Westbrook 29, 17, and 12. 179th career triple-double. Dutch Boy Fresh gave us the Westbrook assists and rebounds over. And it was 24.5, and he gets 29, and he had 8 after the first quarter, and it was just sit back and relax. It was a great, great bet. Rui Hachimura didn't play due to an illness unrelated to COVID-19, so Anthony Gill replaced him, made his third start of the season. And Hachimura is expected to miss tonight's game. K-Paul VIP says, if you like the Raptors and the reason you don't trust them is because of their defense, you got to go over. Well, I want to talk more about the missing players at this point because, and then Chandler Hutchinson left the game with a knee contusion. His status tonight is unclear. Bustler. The Raptors are coming off their fourth loss in 5 games, 105-100 at the Clippers on Tuesday night. I thought they looked very good in those 2 games against the Lakers and the Clippers. Fred VanVleet goes for 27 and 13 to lead Toronto in his return after missing 8 games with a sore hip. Siakam goes for 24. Kem Birch goes for 13 and 8. Lowry, lower back stiffness set out 2 games after scoring a season high 37 against the Lakers, and he's not on the injury report. So OG Anunoby is doubtful. Trent Jr. is probable, and Boucher is out. I don't see why they wouldn't want to be in it. I don't see why they'd want a game or 2 of like real basketball to make something of this season. Eddie Euler looking Wizards, Raptors looking at the over Wiz. Okay, so I'll tell you what. If the Wizards are exhausted, it'll show up in the second half. So if we're sitting here and we want a total, then I think it would be a first half over. And Hachimura out is a big deal. So I'm going to take the first half over. And I'm going to take Raptors full game. It's unclear if he was completely healthy, Birdie. I've tried to get that information. So I'm going to take the first half over in the Raptors full game. I just don't see how the Raptors can't pull away down the stretch here with VanVleet and Lowry on the floor against an exhausted team. Okay, we got to get into NHL, so let's move on to Grizzlies, Pistons. And, let's move on to Grizzlies, Pistons, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's go to full game here. Grizzlies are sitting as 9-point favorites. This total opened up at 222.5. It's now at 223. The Grizzlies pace 12th in the NBA over the past 500.9 possessions a game. Pistons pace 24th at 96.90 possessions a game. Grizzlies are on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Timberwolves 139-135 last night in Minnesota to stop a 2-game losing streak. Ja goes for 37 and 10. Bane goes for 22 off the bench, and he was hitting big threes. Kyle Anderson had 20. Grayson Allen missed the game left the game with an abdominal strain in return. Pistons lost their 4th straight game on Tuesday, 102-99 at home versus the Hornets. And Hamidou Diallo looked awesome. He goes for 35 points, but he's going to miss tonight's game due to personal reasons. Doumbouya adds 20. Jeremy Grant will miss tonight's game, but he plans to return on Saturday night. I don't know how you make a move on this spot. Viper says the total's gone under in 5 of Detroit's last 7 games. Viper MB says Pistons lineup is hilarious. A G League team. I don't know how you. I don't want Grizzlies on the second half of a back-to-back after putting up 139 points. So I would want the Pistons. Here. I think they can keep this close. So I'm not going to do it now under any circumstances, but I'm going to look a little bit closer to what lineup they are going to produce here. And because no Josh Jackson, no Corey Joseph, no Mason Plumlee, no Dan Smith Jr., no Rodney Magruder. Ellington is questionable. I'd like him to be in the lineup if Diallo is going to be off. I need to know who's going to be their starting shooting guard. But if this keeps going up, I'm going to take the Pistons. I'm going to wait, though. All right. We move on to Hawks, Pacers, Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hawks 3-2, 26 in pace over their past 5, 96.40 possessions a game. Pacers are 1-4, first in pace with 108.10 possessions a game. And Fuego going with Sadiq points over. Both teams are on the second half of a back-to-back, but the Hawks had to travel. So that would lead me to think, maybe the Pacers are a play. But what a bunch of bums these Pacers are, man. They just don't try defensively at all. Atlanta coming off a 135-103 win at home over the Suns. Capella goes for 18. 7 scorers go for double figures. They're playing like a professional outfit, whereas this Pacers team is not. Pacers coming off ugly 104-93 loss at home to the Kings. Sabonis going for 8, triple-double. I mean, that's the only thing to play for right now is triple-doubles for him, 17, 13, and 8. LeVert goes for 14. McConnell goes for 11, 7, and 3 steals. They commit 21 turnovers. They're 11-20 at home. Jeremy Lamb remains out. There's been no update on Brogdon or Sumner. Maybe if Brogdon comes back. Ski Prophet says Capella points and rebounds is what he's looking at. I don't know what – I can't back the Pacers. I don't want the Hawks after that game, but they're playing very professional. Atlanta sitting as 6-point favorites. I mean, that should be too much, but they're just such ass clowns. Now, if Brogdon comes back – I may have some interest for them to cover, but I still want at least 5.5 or more. All right, we have 2 games left. First one is pretty trashy. Thunder at Warriors. Warriors 14-point favorites, Warriors. Thunder past 5. They're 1-4, fourth in pace at 105.9 possessions a game. Warriors are 2-3, 7th in pace at 104.20 possessions a game. You have to think that there's going to be buckets. And if you think there's going to be buckets, again, I guess you could easily take this full game if you want. But what if it's a huge blowout? You probably want to focus on the first half. New Gorker, what's happening? We have NHL popping off here in 2 minutes. I've got to send the link to Mr. Gogster. Oklahoma City Thunder, Golden State Warriors. Thunder coming off their 4th straight loss, 103-99 at home versus the Kings on Tuesday night. Basically goes for 24 and 11. Gabriel Deck goes for 16. Moses Brown 17. Alexei Pokusevsky sat out with a bruised knee. No word if Lou Dort's going to be in the lineup. Warriors had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 108-103 loss to the Pelicans on Tuesday night. Steph Curry goes for 37. Fab Wins is unleashing a load. Golden State third quarter handicap -2.5. Also, Curry should shoot and score 40+. It's unclear if Oubre will return. These teams are playing at a very fast pace. I think a first half over is in play here. And then we have Lakers-Clippers. Lakers-Clippers is a big spot here. This total's gone from 210 to 211. Clippers open as 8-point favorites. They're now 8.5-point favorites. Lakers pace the last 5. They're 2-3, 17th at 98.40 in possessions. Clippers are 2-3. They're 27th in pace, 96.20 possessions. Lakers snapped their 3-game losing streak, 93-89 at home versus Nuggets on Monday night. This is the first of a back-to-back for them. They play the Blazers tomorrow. LeBron is expected to miss both games. Gasol and AD are probable. But what game is AD going to miss? I'd be very Eddie Willis says LA Clippers have gone under 6 in a row. This feels like another under because I just don't see why the Lakers would bother trying in this game. Dutch Boy Fresh Clippers first half -4.5. I think that makes sense. Johnny K says Lakers money line, and that also Johnny K's not the only one who thought that. Remember, Anthony Mastronardi said this game's going to be gifted to them. This game was going to be gifted to the Lakers. I just, with the second half with 2 games of a back-to-back, I just don't. Maybe this is a perfect live betting spot. I don't see why they would have. I'm just going to send this to our Mr. Gogster right now. Here we go. All right, Mr. Gogster, get in here and let's talk some NHL. There you go, Mr. Gogster. Get in here and let's talk some NHL. I don't know. Ski Province's Lakers not trying. I just don't see here in the second with a back-to-back here why they'd go all out for this victory. You got Gasol and AD both battling injuries. I mean, what's the easier game here, the Clippers or the Blazers? It's not about not trying. I mean, obviously they don't want to be in the play-in spot, but the Lakers are similar. It's too bad the Lakers don't have a little bit better record because it's similar to the Nets, where all they need to do is be right going into the playoffs and they can beat anybody. But being right is more important than playing well going into the playoffs. Dutch Boy Fresh is on Kawhi over 22.5 points. MMA Locker Room's taking Davis over 7.5 rebounds. Viper MB says huge trends towards the under. All right. I think that under does make some sense. Ski Prophet says Road Dog off a win with 2 or more days of rest and says this year is rare. Is 20 and 12 against the spread. Wow, 20 and 12 against the spread. I don't want the Clippers as this big of a favorite here. They have to prepare for the Blazers tomorrow. All right, I don't know what to do here with this Lakers-Clippers game, but I guess I kind of lead towards the under. So I'm going to put a question mark beside the under. So this is what I am doing in NBA this evening. I'm on the Hornets first quarter money line. I'm not sure what to do with them full game, but I'm certainly interested in them. Nets, Mavs, I'm off right now. I'm on the Wizards, Raptors first half over in the Raptors full game. I might move on the Pistons, but I'm certainly going to wait right now. I want to know if Brogdon comes back to give the Pacers any kind of heart. And then I'm on the first half over in Thunder, Warriors. And I'm not sure what to do. And Dutch Boy Fresh says Clippers first half easy. I'll put that in my notes, the Clippers first half for Dutchy. All right, let's move on to NHL with our NHL expert straight out of Belleville. Crazy motherfucking name, Gogster. Gogster, what's happening, man?
Yo, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, guys? How we doing today? Feeling great.
We are doing well, and we have 6 games in 25 minutes, so no worries, no need to rush. We can go 3 or 4 minutes a game. Welcome to the show, Gogster, and we got a beauty to start off, that being the New York Rangers.
We got the Rangers and the Boston Bruins, don't we?
Boston Bruins. The Rangers coming off that very emotional game with tons of fights, and tons of some passion. And my first thought was, I just think these guys are going to be emotionally exhausted.
Yep.
And I moved on the Bruins -1.5 at +110. The Bruins had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 4-3 overtime loss to the Devils on Tuesday. So it's not like the Bruins are sitting here fat and happy, and they can overtake the Islanders here for that 3rd spot, which I would prefer. I would prefer to play Pittsburgh than Washington in the first round. They're both tough matchups, but I would prefer to play Pittsburgh. Rangers coming off that crazy game last night. I'm going to go over some injuries and some goalie spots, but why don't you take it away from here? The Rangers, or the Bruins, are sitting here. They open as a -229 favorite. They're now -248, and that's at Pinnacle. And the total opened up at 5.5 at the Pick'em, and that's where it stands. Take it away.
All right, guys, we got a good one here. Thanks for having me on, Jimmy. Everybody, hopefully I sound good. We're here, we're live, as you said, Belleville, Ontario. Let's get after it, guys. First game on the docket here is going to be the Rangers and the Boston Bruins, as Jimmy said. Boston's won 4-6 in this series. 5 of the 6 have also gone to the under guys. So right away, that's where I'm going to be looking here. I've been burned a couple times taking first period unders, but I expect this one to be really slow early on. Rangers are going to have Shesterkin in net. He has been a little shaky. He's 0-2, but guys, he's got that .938 save percentage. That's a really good save percentage and only 1.66 goals against in 2 games against the Boston Bruins. So Shesterkin's been pretty darn good. And like we're saying, they're coming off that crazy game, fighting and just their emotions were everywhere. They also got Trouba, as Jimmy's going to go over. They got a lot of injuries too for the Rangers. That's going to cause some problems, I think, for their offense. So I think this is going to be a slower game. First period under, you got that at -104. That's going to be one of my first plays, best bets. I got 4 of them on the card here, guys, a lot smaller than the 9. But, yeah, let's go with Boston and the Rangers on the under, Jim. What do you think, first period?
I think that makes sense.
We have Swayman in net, too, sorry, for the Bruins.
Oh, Swayman is confirmed. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that all makes sense to me. I guess I would have a little bit of concern because you'll need the Rangers to play passionate hockey and forecheck, get in on the forecheck, keep it deep, cycle. You're going to need them to focus, and that's my only concern. My only concern is that you're sitting here 2-0 Bruins after 1, but I completely get the look. If I had a free play on the first period total, I would probably go with you, but if they're not locked in, the Bruins are coming off of a loss and want that 3rd seed in the playoffs. And that's my –
Yep, that could be an issue. But like you say, I think they are going to be ready to go. They had just such an emotional battle last game. They weren't focused on, like you're saying, defensively. They're just focused on just trying to beat up the Washington team. But I think they're going to come back. They don't have the offense. I don't think they're going to come out just going, you know what, guys, let's just try to win this game 5-4. I think they're going to try and hold the fort down, and it's gone 5 of the last 6 have gone under 2 in this series. So, and you're missing a lot of players too for the Rangers. So I think, and the Boston Bruins have been really good defensively, guys, since they've had this decor come back. It's been a really good Boston team. Swayman's in net; he's been pretty good. The Rangers haven't seen him all year, so I do lean towards Boston to win this game. But I value wise, I like the money -104, almost plus money to the under first period.
All right, we got to take a quick pause here. OG Lowbagger legend, gas station saying, good morning, fellow Lowbaggers. Got a lot going on right now, all bad. We'll rejoin the group in a few weeks. Man, I hate hearing that. Gas, I'll reach out today. And, man, we've got so much love for you. We're always going to be here anytime, so many of us. And
yeah,
so
we're here for you, buddy.
If you need anything at all, please let us know. You care so much about all of us, and we care so much about you. And so enormous amounts of love for you guys, and I'll reach out. And thank you for letting us know, though, and our thoughts are with you and your family right now.
I did my best, buddy.
Okay, so we have a first period under for Gogster, and I'm on the Rangers -1.5.
The Rangers -1.5.
Oh, sorry, the Bruins. Sorry, the Bruins. The Bruins -1.5.
That's a big balls play of the day right there.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. And this lineup is tough. You're asking for so much out of Keandre Miller right now with Trouba out. Adam Fox has been a stud all year. He's going to be playing 30 minutes a game. And when you lose Panarin, you still have firepower up front. I mean, Bucci and Zibanejad, Strome is a strong first line. But, Chittle, Lafreniere, and Kakko is a very young second line that you want to give a ton of ice time to. I just don't think these games matter at all to the Rangers now to finish off this loop. So I think they're going to be a fade throughout moving forward. Let's move on to New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, Gogster. This total also at 5.5. It is slightly juiced to the under.
Yeah, this is a good one here. This Devils team, guys, don't sleep on them. They've won 4 of their last 5, took 3 of 4 from the Islanders, 1 of 1 from Boston. So I was just looking at their lines. They still got 3 lines. They got Zacha, Bratt, and I forget the other guy, but they got a deep line here. Let me just bring it up. I got it right here, guys. The Islanders.
Just quickly, Gas has let us know he's going back to Cali to plan his dad's funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear, Gas.
So sorry to hear, Gas. God. Just sending so much love
Yeah.
To your family, love and strength to your family. And
that's awful news. And
yeah,
we're here for you.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Let's get back to this. Take it away here, Gogster. You were talking about the Devils playing good hockey and the Islanders playing bad hockey. Continue on.
Yeah, so I'm just saying this Devils line here, guys. They got it's Zaka, Heischer, and Bratt. That's a really good second line still. Miles Wood, McLennan, Bastian, he's actually hurt. Borgqvist is on the fourth line. What I'm trying to say is they got a lot of young guys here, pretty much like the Ottawa Senators. It's an AHL team. They got a lot of firepower, so it's tough to sleep on what the Devils have been doing. But with that being said, the Islanders, they've lost those 2 games to Buffalo out of character, and I think they're going to come back locked and loaded. Varlamov's going to be in net. He's 3-0 with a .955 save percentage against the Devils. It is a different Devils team, but I think the Devils are going to come back to earth here in this game. They only have 2 more games left, the Islanders, 1 more on Saturday, and then another one at Boston on Monday, which would be a huge one. So I think the Islanders need to get these wins just to get playing better hockey going into the playoffs. And I actually pulled the trigger on, I don't usually do well on puck lines, guys, but I like the Islanders on the puck line plus 105.
It's just after that debacle in Buffalo, it's just a shocking back-to-back losses at Buffalo on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. It just feels like the Islanders have to get right. They have to get right. And are we going to trust that they're able to do that?
I was just going to say too, Jim, they also shut out the Rangers. Before that, they beat the Rangers 3-0 and 4-0, and then they lose to Buffalo back-to-back. So I think it was really out of character. I see them coming back and really beating up on the Devils. Even a team total under on the Devils at 1.5. It's plus 150. I think that could even be a look. It's a little risky with the way the Devils have been playing, but they've been playing Philadelphia for 4 games, and Boston, who's a good team. But I think the Islanders get right here, guys.
Yeah, it makes sense that they would. Again, with the team total there, another thing you can do is you can use the -1 calculator and turn that into turn that into a 2. Let me see what it is right here. If you take the Devils under 1.5 at plus 165, and then Devils under 2.5 at minus 190,
I like that, Jim.
Yeah, then you have that room.
Mm-hmm.
North Ender says maybe Isles first period they should come out hungry. Spenny liking the under, and what I don't want to have happen here is letting the recency bias keep me off of a winning score. But then I look at what that winning score is here on the puck line, and
I did get plus 105 at Penny.
Plus 105. Let's see what's Earl saying. I'll scare me, especially as a minus 240 favorite.
Yeah, it's tough, especially there's not been many puck lines hitting this year compared to years in the past. Not many empty netters. I just think this is a get right game, especially the way the Devils have been playing. They've been playing over their they've been playing good hockey, but I think they're just gonna Barry Trotz and company is gonna lock down here, Jim.
I get it. I completely get it. And the puck lines have come back. The last month it's just been all empty netters, all big wins. Okay. So it was all the 1-goal games at the beginning of the year. And that makes me think to change how I do things. I'm really seriously thinking of changing everything at the halfway mark, sort of, or maybe the 60% through the season, start really focusing on the big scores rather than doing that early. Turnsey says I lean to the over here, actually. I'm not going to make a move at this point. Let's go to Buffalo Sabres and Pittsburgh Penguins here. Sabres coming off those back-to-back impressive wins over the Islanders on Monday and Tuesday. And the Pens coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 7-3 at Philly. The Penguins have a lot of work to do to be right for the playoffs, and they're still bringing Carter into the lineup, and they've been a little sloppy defensively. They have Yari, who I assume is going to be going up against Hauser. This total is sitting at 6, and in the first half of the year, I could count on these Penguins. I could always count on them to play tight, conservative hockey, especially with Malkin out of the lineup. I can't do that anymore, and I don't know. I can't count on their unders at all, and I'm very interested to hear your breakdown here. Sabres, Penguins, take it away.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jim. The big question mark for me is going to be who's Buffalo going to have in net. Hauser's played good for 2 games, but I saw Ullmark in there. I don't have a confirmation on that if he's going to come back. Like Jimmy said, Pittsburgh, They're going to have Malkin back, so it's going to change up. It's hard to say, like Jimmy's been saying, where they're going to go with Malkin. But yeah, they've won 4 of the last 6. They've swept Washington, Philly, and split against Boston. So they're playing good hockey. Seeing from my notes here, I expect some regression here from Buffalo as well, similar to the Devils game, guys. I think both Pittsburgh and the Islanders are going to beat up on these teams at home. Just leading also in towards the playoffs. Teams want to start. They don't want to start losing games. They don't want to blow games late. They want to start securing these wins, in my opinion, for what I've seen in the past. So I lean towards Pittsburgh puck line, but even so, it's just so juiced. Buffalo team total under 1.5 is kind of a look. The 2, as you like to do there, Jim, with the 2.5 and the 1.5. But tough to find value in this one. Matheson, DeSmith's also out from what I found there, Jim. So it's going to be Yari. He's been really good against Buffalo guys, 3-0, .926 save percentage, and a 2.01 goals against. So I don't see why they can't just lock down similar to what the Islanders are going to do here and win kind of a 4-1, 3-1 kind of game here.
Yeah.
Hauser's confirmed too, I'm seeing from Eddie.
Yeah, Hauser confirmed. North Ender might try Pens -2.5. Birdie says Malkin now has a game under his belt. They have to win these last 2 to chance the division pit rolls here. I agree that it's just a little too juiced at this point.
It is that's very juiced. They are tied for first with Washington, 73 points.
Birdie, so funny. Value today's in parlay. Say it. He might be right. He might really be right.
An Islanders Pittsburgh parlay. Was that even plus money?
Well, I'd
imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know, but you don't need to stop there. Well, why not add the Bruins? Let's go on to this very interesting Habs Leafs spot. The Leafs haven't clinched first, and the Oilers have 2 more against the Canucks. So, Oilers are going to win those games, and. Yeah. So, now Leafs don't have Foligno, which hurts them.
Yeah, Hall's possibly out from what I saw too. That's a big one, guys. You guys don't know. He came up from the AHL, and he's been money on that first, second line deep pairing. So that's a big one.
Habs are coming off a pitiful 5-1 loss at the Senators last night. I mean, you have to think that everything points at a Montreal spot, and I can't believe I'm saying that on the second half of a back-to-back, but if they go into the playoffs playing like this, I mean, they're not going to be around for long, and you're getting a huge number on Montreal, plus 189, but maybe Montreal's broken right now and can't be fixed.
100% they're broken, eh, Jim? Look at those injuries.
Still waiting on Gallagher to come back.
Is Tatar? I've seen Tatar, Byron, Weber, Drouin, Gallagher. That's a first line team right there.
Yeah, they're a mess right now. Let's just take a look at who they are. Who can they count on in this game? And what a clown Duran is, and Brendan Gallagher.
Your boy Toffoli. Sorry, I was going to say that's the guy they can count on.
Toffoli, and he's on that second line with Armia and Suzuki. You got Deneau, Josh Anderson, and Cole Caulfield. Kotkaniemi and Jake Evans and Lehkonen on the third line. Frolik, Stahl, and Perry on the fourth line. I mean,
that's some AHL. That's an AHL line, that third line.
Brady says Habs' third game on 4 nights. Horrible spot for them with so many injuries. Leafs roll.
Yeah, what I did here, actually, a little ballsy maybe, but I took some unders here. First period and full game. I took the full game at 6. Montreal too, if they do win this one and Edmonton wins, which most likely happens, they will get in the playoffs. They're obviously going to be getting in, but they can secure that spot right now and not have to worry the next 3 games. So they have to play Toronto again Saturday and then Edmonton twice. So maybe they do get it. They probably get it against Edmonton because they're going to rest guys. But I like the unders here still, Jim. Little shaky on it, but I think Toronto, I expect them to play better hockey here. What do I have? Won 5 of the last 6, 8 of the last 9. They've scored over 3 goals. Exception was Montreal the other night. It's a tough one. The more I think about it, I don't love it, but I already pulled the trigger on both first period and full game under. Also, Campbell, guys, 2-1, .921 save percentage, 2.23 goals against. And Allen's got a .904 save percentage and 2.74 goals against. It's not the greatest, but I still like it. And also, yeah, Hyman, Foligno, and Hall are going to be out, so that's some offense. Important defensive player in Hall as well. But I like the under here. A lot of players, so many players are out from Montreal too. It's like a first line of injuries. So,
and you look at this, you got three forwards out for the Leafs, and Thornton still might not crack the lineup.
Really, that's too bad.
So I mean, I'm sure they'll give him a game or two at certain spots in the playoffs. But I mean, what if he does? What if he's just sitting in the press box for the playoffs? I hope. I mean, as a hockey fan, I don't want to see that. I'm kind of with Turnsey. I'm so used to Senators and Habs playing the Leafs tough. So it's a no move for me at this point. But
you're leaning with Toronto.
I guess I'm leaning now that we talk about the third game in 4 nights and all that stuff. I guess I have a slight lean towards the Leafs here, but I just see Montreal fighting here.
Then they'd have to stay under, then, wouldn't it, Jim?
If Montreal starts losing, then
it's going over. Yeah,
floodgate can open
5-2, 5-2, 5-3 Toronto. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on to Blackhawks, Hurricanes. Blackhawks look like a team that's mailing it in right now. They're attempting to not lose 3 straight to the Hurricanes, 6 straight overall. Carolina's won 5 straight, looks very strong heading into the playoffs. We're at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Another big favorite here. Carolina on the puck lines between -19 and -125, depending on where you shop. This total is sitting here at 6, due to the over. Take it away, Gogster, Blackhawks, Hurricanes.
Yeah, this Chicago team's been struggling, to say the least. 5 of the last 5 have gone over. They've allowed 4 more goals in that span too. They just have no goaltending, guys. Lankinen's came back to earth like no other. He's fallen off the cliff. And Subban, on the other hand, guys, he's just not a number 1 goalie. Came here actually in Belleville, played here in Belleville, watched him a lot, but he just doesn't have it. He's more of an AHL guy. With that being said, Chicago, they could. This isn't a game I like at all, Jim. I'll give you some more stats here, though, guys. Carolina's won 5 of the last 7, and 6 of the 7 games have gone over the total. So Carolina should have Mrazek in net. It's a game I'd have to probably look Carolina, but they already have the first seed locked up. This is a game I want nothing to do, to be honest, guys. Chicago, as I said, they have no goaltending. They got injuries. They've had injuries all year. I don't know what I'm going to get for them. I'd lean towards the over if we can get a 5.5, but Mrazek's playing good hockey as well. He's allowed 3 goals in 1 game against a Chicago team, which, you could say that could help your case, but still, I lean towards that puck line, if anything, with Carolina, Jim, but I don't love this game. I don't know what I'm going to get from Carolina.
I think that
both teams, for that matter.
I think that Carolina might not be the very focused, but they're going to be able to score. If that's the case, we could see what happened in that last matchup between these two with the same goalies in net, where the Blackhawks went up 2-0, and it was a very easy 6-3 win for Carolina.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that the over would be in play here.
What is that over?
Sitting at 6, it's juiced, but it makes me think that not only is the over in play, I know we're dealing with huge favorites on this card, but the over would be in play and the Hurricanes -1.5. And Slat says, is on the exact same thing here. It says, rookie goalie Delian, that's 0-3 versus Canes, who own the Hawks. Ever since Teravainen came back, they might be the best line of hockey with Aho and Svechnikov. Canes regulation and -1.5 Mrazek in.
If Deli is in, guys, he's the worst goalie by.
He's confirmed.
He might be better than him. Is he in net?
Yeah.
Okay. Take Carolina in the over. This guy's awful. He's awful. He's worst goalie in the NHL. He's bad, guys. I got nothing. If I could talk to Colin Deli, I'd tell it to his face too. He's awful. So.
Okay, I think those bets have to be made. I don't look. I know we're dealing with huge favorites here, but
over 2. Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and leave money on the table, and I might be doing that, not backing either the Penguins or the Islanders or the Leafs here. So I think I'm going to jump in on the Hurricanes. Okay, we've got a few minutes here before we end the show. We got the big Babano and Connor Mack show, MLB Best Bets. The Canucks have lost 6 straight. They're playing out the string. And the Oilers are coming off their 3rd consecutive win and aren't mathematically eliminated from first place in the North yet. It's unlikely, but this game is later. If Montreal is ahead or beating Toronto, these guys are going to blow out the Canucks.
Yeah.
Are they going to? The question is, are the Oilers going to take this seriously? I already jumped in -1.5 and -105 on the Oilers. I just think that
you're fading your knuckleheads, eh?
Oh, heavy, and I did against the Oilers too. And for the first time, JT Miller's not even playing inspired hockey. Nobody is. I got -105. It's moved to -120 at Bet365. How are you betting this, Gogster?
Oh, man, Vancouver, how are they going to finish this out? They have like 6-7 games left. Like I don't know what they're going to do. This is the biggest shit show I've ever seen in hockey. Edmonton. If Koskinen's in net, I don't like what Koskinen's done against Vancouver. With that being said, he's got a 3.05 goals against. If Smith's going to be going, if he's confirmed, then I can't look anywhere but the puck line again. You know what, Jimmy? We might have to do with the parlays here. This looks like a parlay kind of night, even a round robin parlay. You know?
Yeah, and Koskinen is likely.
I don't like that. I do not like that. No. So that one in the Carolina game is, well, now that we have Delhi and net, I do love that over and Carolina. Even Carolina team total over 3.5. You can get that at 125. I like that -125. But Koskinen, he can cost you a lot of tickets. He's been costing me for years. So I'm not a fan of this guy. Again, just like Delia, nothing nice to say about him. So cautious with that one.
Slot saying, did you get a little nervous when the Canucks went up 1-0? I kind of did, just because I was 0-2 going into that game, and but it was 1-0 for 35 minutes. So I got a little. I pretended that I wasn't the next day. I was confident the whole time, but I was a little uncomfortable just because going 0-2. Well, I've already locked in at -105, so I can't get away from Koskinen, and I'm not going to take the over because I don't know if I don't trust the Canucks to fight.
Yeah,
but would you say the over would be a look then with Koskinen?
Yeah, and Holtby here. If it's Holtby, he's 1-1 with a .887 save percentage and a 3.57 goals against. So you'd have to look over, if anything, especially this defense for Vancouver. It's been bad all year.
You'd have to look over.
But
you're absolutely right.
Especially if Montreal's winning, Edmonton's going to come out in that first period too. A nice first period Edmonton look could be a good play.
And you can always still trust this power play.
Team total over Edmonton as well.
With Quinn Hughes on the point there for the Canucks coming. Okay, so additions for me. I'm going to add the Hurricanes -1.5 in the over. I'm going to add the over for the Oilers. And I'm not going to add the team totals, even though they make a ton of sense, just because they're just so juiced. And I already bet – the only 2 bets I'd made before the show started was the Oilers -1.5 as well as the Bruins -1.5. Please review your action. We got to put a bow on this.
For sure, guys. So I got the Islanders on the puck line +105. I doubled down on the under in Montreal-Toronto first period full game. I'm going to add the Carolina Hurricanes on the puck line as well and the over 6. And then I closed it out with the New York Rangers Boston Bruins first period under -104.
And Mr. Gogster will tweet out his action, and then I will retweet it as well. That'll be out very soon here. Mr. Gogster, spectacular job. Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter. First off, thank you, everybody in the chat. Go head over right now to Babano and Connor Mack and check out their MLB Best Bets. And then what the hell is that? Oh, my God. I like it.
On Twitter, guys. Ego47. Thanks for having me, Jim. We'll see you again, guys.
Oh, wait, no. We need you, Gogster. We need you to leche us out of here.
Oh, the leche? Yeah. All right, guys, don't forget to always leche your bookmakers. Leche, elos bookmakers.